Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Boomba right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Ola Dolupo, and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. It is Thursday. Whoop, whoop. It is Thursday, and we promise that today is not going to be any different. We're going to be talking about so many things today. Today promises to be pretty interesting, yeah? But there's quite a number of things that we're going to be looking into. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. And with me in the studio is Sola Rogers. But before we get to that, though, we're going to be talking about quite a number of things. The tax bill seems to be getting a bit of headway in the House of Assembly, in the House of Reps, actually. And basically, one of the main issues, I know that especially the House of Representatives, there were quite a number of issues that they had. So it's interesting that it seems to have been making headway. The tax bill has now advanced, basically past second reading in the House of Representatives. That's good news. That is good news. Also, the NLC is coming up with a very interesting request about asking people to do some things. Would people agree? Would we say this is part of the reasonable stuff that they do? That we would get around to. Also, the NSA has a few things to say about Canada. We would get around to that. There are quite a number of stories, actually. There is entertainment stories. Very interesting entertainment stories, actually. And also, there are also going to be sports stories. Of course, there's quite a number of sports stories that a lot of people will be expecting that we'll talk about. So that and quite a number of things today that we're going to be talking about. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Like I said, my name is Ola Dolupo, and with me in the studio is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the bar.
Okay, so we're going straight into it today. First things first. It's been announced that in the House of Representatives, the tax bills have advanced and passed second reading in the House of Representatives, which I think had done that in the Senate a couple of weeks ago. This was as far back as last year. But there were quite a number of issues with that the House of Representatives had with it. Is it understandable? Also, there are more people in the House of Representatives. So to get these same people on board will probably take quite a bit more time than usual, than maybe the House of Reps, than the Senate. But it's safe to say that it works. We're getting somewhere actually on that matter. So now this is official that it has now passed second reading, a scale through second reading, and I'm guessing that they're now getting to the point where there's a lot of deliberation now, and then there's supposed to be a public hearing at some point in that mix.
Yeah, it's a bit of good news if you are someone who believes in the concept of having an harmonized tax regime and being able to increase Nigeria's internally generated revenue, which definitely reduces the need to borrow. Or like the experts have told us, borrowing is not a bad thing. You just need to know what you're using the money for and whom you are borrowing from, if you know what I mean. So it's a good thing. Initially, there was a lot of politics about it. And it's funny how, the president had come out, that's President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, had come out to say, I'm not withdrawing it when the heat was on. Yeah. Withdraw the bill. I am not going to withdraw the bill. You guys go and do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not going to withdraw the bill. Now, all the naysayers, all the people who kicked against it, some of them did it for political reasons. Some of them actually are genuine reasons to say, look, there's something wrong with this bill. The bulk of them are quiet now. Some of them are gloating, we were able to get this done. We get that. But at the end of the day, it looks like Nigeria is on track, to doing something that was unheard of before. And again, the people, I believe, because studying a little bit about that thing, the people will definitely benefit from this because it's beyond all the rhetorics and everything. The bottom line is that low income earners will not be taxed. That's a massive thing there.
Yeah.
You know, and amongst all the other benefits of this thing. And at the end of the day, it just basically means that all the states must become viable. It's now beyond potential. Oh, this state has potential. That state has potential. Your potential must become IGR now. Your potential must become
it's
something.
no longer potential energy. It has to be kinetic energy now. It's no longer potential.
And again, what that also means is that you are now going to still get your monthly allocations, but you're going to look at it that, oh, if I actually get serious with governance, I could get more. I could do more for my people.
Yeah, definitely.
Nigeria has moved forward. A lot of people will tell you otherwise. We've moved from a situation where you used to hear in the news, salaries are being owed. State workers have not been paid.
Past that gradually.
Not gradually. When was the last time you heard anything?
I heard. I think it was in Ebonyi.
When was this?
This was, I think, last week.
Okay.
So that's why I said
I
gradually.
But of course, I can't argue with your facts and everything.
Yeah. So basically, so let's see. It looks like this tax bills need to be going on as fast as possible. And then anyway, for people listening and for people watching, we actually do have good news for you. So for people that have been asking over and over and over again, now it is here. You can actually make your comments and short comments by calling
50 seconds.
By calling into the studio now. Yeah, there is actually a studio line that you can call on WhatsApp. I'm posting it. It's on YouTube right now. It is for people listening. It is +234 9161 637661. Let me take it again. +234 9161 637661. So if you have a comment and you don't want to type it out, you can just call in and we will catch your we'll get your comments on whatever part of the show you want to comment on. So now let's get right into it. So still talking about this, now let's go to Zamfara State. Interesting news. And I think that because there is a lot more money to be paid, because you know with the 70,000 naira minimum wage, which we know that now translates to a lot more money that states are going to be paying as salaries. We see last week we were on the show where we talked about how, I can't remember what state exactly, where they found thousands of ghost workers. Now in Zamfara State too, it seems like a lot of states are now doing the much needed auditing that they probably had been overlooking for a while. We saw in the federal government too, it seems to be doing that as well. Now Zamfara State has now said that in their system they have found 2,363 ghost workers.
Ghost workers are as old as time in Nigeria. I don't even know if they exist in other countries, but this country is unique.
But wait, I thought that the introduction of IPPIS was going to, because I remember very well that was like one of the selling points of the IPPIS, that it was going to eliminate ghost workers.
So you thought, like she thought. So
yeah.
It's just a thought.
That was a selling point.
Yeah, that she had. You know, remember that the same IPPIS, a certain sector of Nigerian workers kicked against it. They had their own more robust system. You see, the truth is, it is hard for a thief to catch itself. Like, you know, that's it. I'm not saying that. I've just said what I said. Now, that is an isolated statement. Do not link it to what we're discussing. Once again, do not link the statement about thieves catching thieves or itself. Now, back to what we were discussing. Sorry, why did I digress? Oh, that's why I digressed. Now, back to the matter. The real thing is that it is until a bigger force takes charge, you know, and there's this scrutiny, serious scrutiny about the workforce.
Yeah.
Last time out, under President Buhari, after they brought in IPPIS and all the other things, they asked people to come for verification, which is supposed to be a random thing.
Yeah.
There is no way you would believe that some Nigerians who have left Nigeria are still on the payroll. And it is alleged.
Or people that have families, that their families are there.
It is alleged that some of these people actually came back home. It is
to come and do.
Yeah, they'll do the verification and they will go. Remember there was a time even for youth corps members before they started paying their money into their salaries. You just sign. You sign in advance now.
Now those things I heard is now biometric.
Very biometric. Very, very.
If
biometric.
You are not there, you ain't getting paid.
So these are some of the things, and if one state, and they're not done fishing them out. A lot of it's so sad how was the system has been created. People look for a way to circumvent it. Mm-hmm. Then they form a clique and forget they are chopping now. When one person is collecting the salary of 2,000 and something people, you now hear that a civil servant has built an hotel somewhere. Civil servant,
is he your civil servant?
Is he your hotel?
Is he your hotel? Please, the Lord is the Lord's doing. It's marvelous in our sight.
Very marvelous.
Thanks.
That's
it's
very
the Lord's
marvelous.
doing. Thanks. Let's not. Don't be. What's it called?
Don't be a player hater.
Don't be a player hater. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Anyway, still talking about workers. The Nigerian Labour Congress, interestingly, had brought out another request, and they're directing Nigerian workers to boycott telecom services over the tariff hike. So apparently, there's been an announcement. I think this was about 2 days ago. People that use MTN just woke up, and I think, because in my head, I thought that there was a 50% increase. However, it looks like MTN did a 300% increase.
All right. So remember that for months, they had been agitating. They had been pushing for a price increase. But the telecom sector in Nigeria is regulated to the point where you can't just fix prices or increase prices willy-nilly. So as it stands, they finally got the approval from the approving authority, and
for a 50%
they were
increase.
going to do a 50% increase. Now, not all the telecoms people have effected this increase, but one of the companies that has done it, has had people talking.
No, hold on. Went overboard.
Okay.
I don't use MTN, so it's not like it's affecting me personally. But what we heard and what was announced, in fact, I remember what they were fighting for was a 100% increase. So maybe you're spending 2,000 naira on maybe 2 gig data. You now spend 2,000 naira to get 1 gig data. Yeah, that's 100% increase. Yeah. But I remember the Minister of Communications, it's not Olusoju, that man, Bosun Tijani, I talked about how there was a bit of back and forth, and they had agreed that it was going to be a 50% increase. So what I'm guessing is, what that means is, if you're paying 2,000 naira for 2 gig data before, you're probably going to pay 3,000 naira for the same data. Yeah, makes sense. Now people are saying that for about what we were paying, like I think we were paying like 5,000 naira before, is as much as about 15,000 naira for the same quantity of data. That's 300% increase. That's nothing close to 50 or 100% increase. Yeah. So what's the plan? Like, what exactly is MTN doing? Do I get NLC's grouse? I get it. But are people really, are you going to tell people, or how do you want to monitor how people, are you saying that people will not make phone calls for days? People will not use data. If you didn't even have data, just if you didn't have data, this is your information. How did you plan that it was going to go around?
You can use Wi-Fi. You can use broadband. You can get a town crier.
And everybody. Okay, town crier, that one's FD.
There are several ways. Look, you can use a message in a bottle. I don't know why people are making noise. There are several ways to communicate. The Nigerian Labour Congress, they're just looking out for you.
And this is my issue with Nigerian Labour Congress. At times, it's not like your fights are not valid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your concerns are valid. However, your approach to solving those things or to fighting back is the part I have a problem with. It don't make sense.
No, but you see,
it's not gonna work.
In this particular fight, they have the ability,
to turn off people's data.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. They can turn off national grid, which will affect the data. Okay, those people have generators. Hey, they can stop selling diesel because the diesel sellers are their people. They shy away, but the thing about it is that they have said that you should stop using all these telecoms to show them that we have power.
That's my own.
The sad part is that it's unrealistic. The call and that charge is unrealistic.
That's my point.
And I have a feeling that even they know that it is unrealistic to ask.
So what's the point
people? So they are playing to the gallery, or
so
they're trying to force their hands to come to the negotiating table.
So we're claiming. I don't think they're going to. This is not something you can use to force anybody's hand. It does not make any sense. It's not going to.
You'll find out very soon.
It's not going to work. Let's not deceive ourselves. I'm saying that even if you're going to negotiate something, let's know what you're negotiating now. Let's know. Do you understand? Like, at times, it gets to a point where people, if you're not careful, people will take you for a joke. People will take you for a ride. Let's stop this. Let's stop this back and forth. It's not helping anybody. Let's look for proper solutions.
So, what are the proper solutions? Is
there a need for a conversation?
There's a body that should stop a company that you gave 50% authority.
Yeah, there's a whole ministry.
Permission. There's the parastatals and ministries in charge of this sector.
Yeah, what's FCCPC doing in that regard as well? That's what I'm saying.
And the FCCPC, I think they got a judgment recently which says that they can actually, deal with this kind of situations.
There needs to be
in telecoms. You know, one of these telecoms companies sued them, tried to stop them from getting involved in the telecom sector, and they won the case. They won the case. So as it stands, we are basically saying that people should do their jobs.
Yes.
If I tell someone, okay, you know what, you have a 50%.
That's it.
Increase approval.
There actually needs to be.
It has to be 50%.
You do over 50%,
I should be charging you for every kobo you have made over that 50%, and it can be tracked.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a conversation. I agree, but let's do it intelligently. That's my own.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has now said that the Apapa Ibadan freight rail service is beginning again, and that they're going to be operating 3 times a week. They're saying that they're working towards how they can move all heavy duty things or goods basically through the rail service around the country and eliminate those things off the roads. I know that yesterday the Senate was talking about a bill that is going to mandate trucks to not be on the roads around certain times of the day, during the day, and it's literally going to be a law. So it's a conversation that's happening. But other than, okay, we know there are laws, I get the angle of the law, but if there are safer alternatives, probably even cheaper, because now people probably don't have to deal with the tickets that they pay them. You're not stopping a train in the middle of the this.
I know you know now. Shebi you be Shango. Who is the god of iron again?
Ogun.
You be Ogun now. Go and stop moving trains.
So Jonathan, I'm sure that a lot of people moving of goods and services would even be cheaper, and people would rather do it. So
it will be cheaper, it will be faster, which means more reliable, which also means hopefully a trickle down effect in the area of cost. The only problem now is storage. How long will it be stored at the dry dock? So the smart thing is that they already set up something like that in Ibadan, which is not far from in fact, it's a train station. Like, that's where you're gonna offload the containers and goods that they are moving. So the same rail tracks should also be channeled to the depots. So picture moving PMS, DPK, AGO, basically all the byproducts of crude via rail.
Off this Lagos Ibadan.
Via rail.
It will be
and
fantastic.
You now replicate the same thing. There's the Warri Itakpe rail line. There's the Eastern line that's going to go from Port Harcourt. It's already, being constructed and all of that. Or the single gauge, but it will still move freight and all of that. So it moved from Port Harcourt all the way to Maiduguri. The same thing from Abuja to Kaduna, or Kaduna back to Abuja, and Kano Kaduna is actually moving at fast pace. I've been monitoring
yes.
and all of
so,
that. So I saw a video. There's a private individual who made the video. I think is into haulage and everything, and he's in partnership with the NRC, the Rail Corporation. He made the video himself, and it was an entire, set of trucks. Not trucks now. I'm talking about a whole rail coach, or whatever, about 40 something of them, which according to people who said that would have been 100 and something trucks moving things to Ibadan. So imagine if you can do that,
and it's on one fell
to the east,
yeah,
or to the south, and all of that.
Exactly.
So again, governors need to invest in support infrastructure. They need to look for how they can link their own rails to these rail systems that are in place. They need to build bonded terminals and everything, and it's IGR for them too. It's still more income and more jobs being created, and all of that. At the end of the day, Nigeria will win.
Okay, now let's move on from that. Southwest governors are in Lagos for a meeting. A lot of people are talking about how the speculations that part of the meeting is this new drive to set up Sharia courts in the Southwest. But it's just speculations. I'm sure that maybe there will be a communique at a point when they're done with this meeting. Now, let's move on from that. And let's talk about a few security stories. So first things first.
Before you move on, sorry. I'm hoping that they'll finally get to talk about something that they talked about almost 2 years ago.
Which is?
A Southwest rail system that is going to be built by the Southwest governors.
But they're just talking. Nothing.
So I'm hoping that there's action on it. Look, Lagos is about to do Purple Line and the Green Line. Which one is that? So, hey, what's going on, people?
Anyway, so like I said, a bit of interesting stories coming from security angle. So first things first, the NSA Ribadu has now he spoke about, however, the chief of defense staff was denied visa to Canada. So apparently there was an event, and the same event, some people were giving visas and some people weren't. Yeah,
about half of their team that was meant to go. So it was supposed to be for war heroes and veterans and everything, and half of Nigeria's traveling team was granted a visa, while the other half, which included such a highly placed person as the chief of defense staff, were not granted visas to Canada. And this is usually done in an hostile environment. It's done when a nation is a pariah nation. It's done when those two countries are supposed to have some form of loggerheads and everything.
There's some explanation somewhere.
Mostly when you reject visas for people, it's for them not qualifying to get a visa. But someone of that status, you would not say it's no, except there's something that the Canadians know that they're not telling us. But I feel that it's an hostile thing that they've done. And in diplomacy, tit for tat is allowed. It is allowed.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the NSA, the National Security Advisor, who is arguably like Nigeria's main security person, is angry.
I would have even said that even the people that they gave probably should never have gone.
They'll be like, you know what?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Anyway, moving on from that, let's go to DSS, where the deputy director of the DSS, the deputy director of DSS, where had said, well, this was through the DSS boss, through the deputy director, had actually talked about how they are looking at recruiting intelligent graduates into the service. They're saying that first class graduates, there should probably be a level or a number of first class graduates that should be mandated to join the DSS.
I don't know about mandating people. You see, when you force people to do things, it never works. It just never works. You want intelligent people, then you have to go source for them.
I'm even saying that. Are we saying that?
And intelligence does not have to do with academics.
Exactly. Are we saying
being
that
book smart
does
not make you intelligent?
It does not make you intelligent. At times, it just means that you can read and
But you know the funny thing, there are criminally minded people who only need a little bit of nudging in the right direction. Yeah. Have you heard about ethical hackers and all of that stuff? Those are look. I don't understand their drive. So you need intelligent people in court, and you think it's first class graduates. Except the first class graduate is security inclined or whatever, you cannot force them to come work for you.
You can't force people one.
But if I was them, you know that the universities have the cadets and all of those.
Encourage people.
That makes people want to join the military. Mm-hmm. What about creating that kind of system also for people? And you start to, I hate the word I'm about to use, but you start to groom them from university. And you'd have done your screening, you'd have done your checks and stuff, but let it be voluntary. Please, dear DSS, don't force people to join you, intelligent or otherwise, academically sound or not. Mm-hmm. And again, in your field, you need people from all stratas, like even from their physical appearances to, it shouldn't just be about one kind predictable recruits.
Yeah, it's very
the funny thing about stereotyping, is that at times you just look at someone and say, this guy looks like a cop just by looking at the person.
Yeah.
Well, the most obvious ones you won't know. The ones that look like bike men and the regular guy in the office on a radio station that's pretending to be that is an intern. Sure, let's move on.
Yes, at this point.
Let's move on.
Time
we didn't say anything about it.
Yes, it's time we moved on. Thanks.
Let's move on.
Thanks very much. Anyway, let's move on from that. Also, just wanted to put it out there. Another Ekiti court has now stricken out another defamation suit against Dele Farotimi. I don't understand what is happening.
Against Farotimi?
Yes, I don't understand.
A case against him?
Yes, no.
Or his own case against him?
No, those defamation cases.
Okay.
So, that's it. Now, let's move on to some things a little bit interesting.
Before Dolupo moves on, Dele Farotimi said some things, and everybody was up in arms. Are those things true?
Like I said, I don't understand, so I've
refused to comment on it. If indeed the things he said are true, then it's time to act on them, and let us take him very, very serious. Mm-hmm. Not a big fan of his, but if he said some things, and you sued him, he did not even make it to court, then the cases are being pulled out, and you say it's because some people came to beg you. So let's really ask you are you saying that those things are true? I don't understand. Someone needs to come and clarify these things. And because this is a funny thing about my country, we sweep things under that carpet is very, very bulgy and bulky now. Because the things we have swept under, in fact, the carpet has turned to a bridge now because you must surmount it. It's like a mountain. If our judiciary are okay with this, I don't think the people are. These are very serious accusations.
Anyway, moving on from that, let's move on to some very interesting news that apparently security agencies have arrested 3 Nigerians. So there was on the flight from London to Lagos, 3 passengers who are known as Adedigba, Adewale, Ashibogu, Magnus. Do you know the person?
Magnus.
Do you know them? And Iwonzi, Benjamin.
Are you playing?
What?
Magnus.
Who's Magnus?
Magnus in America. That's his name.
No.
Okay, carry on.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So, it was said that these 3 people were causing a lot of disturbance in the air. Now, it started with when they said 2 of these passengers. It started when they had economy tickets, but they wanted to sit in business class by force.
Okay.
First, they were stopped. Then when the matter was not resolved, it got to a point where even the captain had to come out actually of the cockpit to help resolve the issues. It was that bad at some point. The flight captain. Then, after that, they now saw that they actually now brought out alcohol that they brought in.
But usually they would have stopped you from bringing alcohol into the plane.
So apparently they found a way to get it in.
The stories are funny, but carry on.
And then they were doing all whatever it is, and then they were worsening the disturbance, kind of insinuating that at a point they were behaving drunk and all that on the plane. So on landing in Nigeria, they got arrested.
Okay. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm a tad bit flustered by one of the names that I saw there. It was very, very similar to a friend of ours, and I'm really hoping that it's not the one, because at times, people share names.
Yeah, people do.
There's one Dolupo Balogun that I stumbled on Facebook. And
no, you didn't.
It's different from this Dolupo.
No, you did not.
It's probably better.
No, you did not.
Probably a better Dolupo. So
okay,
we don't even know. But again, in the aviation sector, you need to overbehave yourself when you're traveling.
Yeah.
The laws are very strict,
very, very
there
steep,
and
yeah.
all of that. And I've been hearing a lot of people talk about how one of these airlines, maybe it's this one, how the standards have dropped and everything. I've seen several videos for and against. I had a personal friend of mine who traveled with them last week, who was in business class, and it was all praises and stuff. But I've seen other videos of people saying, look, these guys have dropped the ball, and that the entertainment unit were not working. In short, bottom line is that
makes sense.
Yeah, there's something wrong somewhere.
Anyway, see, if you are flying, like you had said, it's very, very important, because once you see a bit of disturbance, the first thing they assume is maybe you're trying to hijack the plane and all those things. Those things are very, 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 very they're taken very seriously, especially when you are on a plane. Now, moving on, this is breaking news. The House of Representatives that today passed the 54.99 trillion 2025 appropriation bill.
All right, so the bill has been passed.
Yeah, by the House of Reps. So I'm guessing
was it that high? Even the increment didn't take it to 54 now.
It did. It was 50, yes.
I thought it took it to 51 or something.
It was 50, 54.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, Nigeria needs...
so it was 54.2 trillion, and now they have moved it to 54.99.
Yeah, because, they're always... it's what we started calling padding. But they have the powers, actually. Apparently, it's well within their powers to increase or decrease a budget. That's why it's called a budget. It's a budget for a reason. You say, okay. But now, I hope that the Senate will also follow suit so that we can actually...
We can move on quickly. Also, wanted to put it out there. Nigeria has now also met OPEC quota for the past 1 month now. I think the quota is about 1.6 million barrels, but according to OPEC, even that output has now risen by 4%, and the last month's output is 1.737 million barrels per day.
That's a big deal. Nigeria has been looking for ways to ramp up production. Nigeria has always usually never met, that quota because of a lot of issues. But now, it's interesting how we have localized refineries working at almost full strength, and we're still able to meet our OPEC, quotas, which means that we can still sell enough crude to earn enough forex to, help with governance. This to me is a very, very big deal. Personally, I think it's a very, very big deal.
Okay, now before I wanted to talk about. There's quite a number of stories that I want to talk about: entertainment, the sports stories. But before we get to that, there was one gist that you were telling me earlier, and then I felt that maybe we should talk about it. So a lot of people have a problem with number one, Elon Musk being in the Oval Office. Where his location at the Oval Office in the United States, where he was, because normally when you see they are always at the other side. Not like standing right by the president. his toddler son was there. He seemed to be speaking over the president as supposed to be according to them, the president of the free world, the leader of the free world. How he had quite a number of things to say. Even his son had quite a number of things.
That boy said some things, though. The boy said things. The boy said things.
So, who really is the U.S. president?
Well, it's very, very strange that that Donald Trump
for someone
is
as
a very strong personality.
Yeah, very.
Donald Trump
is a very larger than life.
He's overbearing. He's. I remember the debate during his the first time he tried to be president, and he won eventually. The debate against Hillary Clinton. I was watching that thing, and Donald Trump did something I'd never seen before. Hillary was talking, and he moved away from his own podium, and he was just hovering over her like, that's Donald Trump for you.
To her say that he has like an intimidating character, and now,
and the same Donald Trump is in the Oval Office. He's not even in the press center or press call room or whatever. He's in the Oval Office. He's having a press briefing, about the Doge thing and other things. He's supposed to sign some EOs. And there's Elon Musk virtually taking over the whole meeting. Elon had his son there. His own son.
His own tiny son.
In the Oval Office.
What's that boy doing there?
And Donald Trump was cool with it. These are strange times.
Strange is definitely the word. Strange is definitely the word. But anyway, we'll see. Shout out to y'all in the US. That's all I can say at this point. Shout out to you guys. Anyway, moving on from that, let's talk about a bit of sports. There are quite a number of things we're going to be talking about. But you know what? I still want to talk about a bit of sports first. Should I do sports first? Oh, no. Entertainment. Let's do entertainment. First things first. This drama with Mr. Two-Face. So, a lot of people have had a lot of things to say. First, announcing that he was going through a divorce with his very popular wife that everybody knows. All of a sudden, the next thing is, that he's in love with another woman who's Edo State House of Assembly member. And publicly professing his love to her. Then, posting a video of what seemed like a proposal. All in the space of 2-3 weeks. I know that Annie Dibia's according to him, Annie Macaulay's friends will be boiling at the moment. But he seems to be having a ball. It's obvious that he's not adverse to getting married again, and women are not adverse to dating or marrying Two-Face again, even after the numerous baby mamas and drama around him. That is obvious. But can you actually blame him for doing what he's doing? Can we say that? Because I've heard a lot of people talk about how it's not the right time. It's not this. Not that.
I saw a TV presenter. Mm-hmm. I saw a snippet of a TV show, popular TV show, and I saw the presenter having a meltdown, more or less. And I don't want to. I'm trying to paraphrase or quote, but I'm not sure I can quote verbatim. And she said something like, "We can't let him get away with this," or what? Who are we?
What do you want?
Who is the we?
Who is the we?
She went further to justify her statement by saying, when they were getting married, we were all there. And okay,
you were.
And at least it was probably okay. You see, it is sad. Look, we're all doing content creation. We're all discussing. We all have podcasts and everything. But that does not mean we shouldn't be real. Was she doing that for views, or was she for real? Because just like Dolupo said, Annie's friends are angry. I've seen a lot of women go, men has come. A man is come for marrying another woman or proposing to another woman. But the woman that he's proposing to is not scum.
No, she's not scum.
Because a relationship broke down.
Women supporting women.
They play. Look, Two-Face Idibia. I saw the video of him proposing. I saw the video of him in the Edo State House of Assembly sitting in the gallery. I've seen videos of that lady in action where she went to protest at INEC, leading a crowd and everything. My deductions? Two-Face is in love. That's my deduction. That what I see is, that level of love that makes you do things that people think are stupid.
Yeah.
But it is your own stupid. It's not anybody's stupid.
It's not anybody's own.
You understand? Now, my own fears, I even thought everybody analyzing would come up with this. My fear is it really divorced, or they are planning to get divorced? And in the process of divorce, are you allowed to propose?
To get married? I think proposal is not the problem. I think it's the getting married.
That's an engagement now. That's some form of marriage in its own.
Not in Nigeria.
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm just worried. And a lawyer. I get what Dolupo is saying is an opinion. Like mine is an opinion. When we're coming with fact-based, then we push it as fact. But my fear is, I'm not sure it's fully divorced, except it's going to tell us, that the thing has been concluded. My other fear was Two-Face was spraying naira, spraying money in a video.
That was the EFCC.
So these are my own fears. I mean, I'm not bothered about if he has moved on or if he has a woman.
The sad part.
Because I like Two-Face a lot, and I don't want them to, because if they can invite people for spraying money and arrest them and jail them, and again, Baba, why they spray money for woman? We get money, where you get money? What was that thing? Those are my own issues, though. All this other you get another is not. In fact, it's not news.
Funny enough. It's I think that the breakdown of Two-Face's marriage to Annie is very sad. However, if we don't want to lie to ourselves, it was not the way it looked, at least from outside, and which looked like a lot of their issues were made public. It wasn't a matter of hoping that this thing will work. It's a matter of when will it break down. It's sad, but there was like the handwriting on the wall that there was something. It didn't seem like a marriage that was, So maybe if people came from that angle and looked at it that, this thing was literally going to hit the rocks either way anyway, maybe it's time to now agree that, okay, finally,
it's still not anybody's business.
No, I get it. But I'm just saying that maybe look at it from the angle that if you think that they had like the toxic relationship,
the Bible says something.
To be happy that the relationship has finally ended.
The Bible says something. Can two walk together except there be an agreement? When you see people walking, someone is either in front or behind or at par. If they're at par, that means they're walking together. Do you understand? And at some point, someone decides to walk faster or even stop walking. That shows that's where they are.
It's a bad idea.
However, I feel for the people who are being sentimental about this breakdown in this marriage. But I hate to say this, but Dolupo is right. And a lot of people who have said it, I've heard people say what she said. You think they were in the same WhatsApp group. They are right by saying, look, it was never really there all along.
It seemed like a very toxic.
I don't say that people should not have their relationships with their exes. Mm-hmm. If you can handle it, it's fine. But if they said to dine with the devil, you need a lock spoon. Mm-hmm. My own is, why are you dining with the devil?
Why the devil at all?
Dear devil, go and get your own restaurant.
Exactly. Not even that you say plates.
when you're seeing Two-Face with his exes and all of that, they are children together, and so
there's
you can go and pick up your children now, but you don't need to hang out with.
Are you the first person? So it didn't look fine. So that's what I'm saying.
That's why this doesn't shock me in any way.
I remember the likes of Tokemaki, everybody going off, and I'm like, shouldn't you guys be happy that if you felt there was something wrong with the relationship, at this point, be happy that it's finally over?
I don't know, one of these popular ladies whose marriage broke down, and the way she quickly moved on.
At times, those things are a blessing.
I think there was a lady that was married to one of the popular comedians. I'm not going to mention his name. And the way his wife has moved on, and she's out in public with one guy now, like she's just living her life. You know the funny thing? Nobody's talking about it. But if it was that comedian that's so upfront, it was a bad look.
It is what it is.
Why are you always?
It's probably a better situation when people.
If it's not working, it's not
working. Don't work. Wouldn't you rather people not work than people hitting themselves?
I beg, make una live two-faced
and causing all sorts of things.
Someone looked at himself and said he's two-faced, and you people are complete. Do you know even what it means to be two-faced? The brand alone self has told you now. You be my guy. You be my guy.
We're moving on from that.
That's your name too.
So a very interesting.
You get that to be.
A very interesting video surfaced today where the founder of the Headies, Ayo was kind of going off on Nigerians and saying that, in his words exactly, that the Grammys seems to be more popular on the streets of Lagos than in the US, or that is more popular than the homegrown Headies Awards, and that nobody is going to help what's the word now? Is going to help us promote our own than us by ourselves. How he goes to this events and he knows people that live around there and they don't even know that it's happening, but one Nigerian gets one Grammys and then the whole country is celebrating it and all that.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Mr. Animation.
It seems to think Nigerians have amazing.
It's someone that I respect a lot. From a distance, I have friends who are actually who are friends of his. And I remember how he started out with the lyrics song, the book that he used to do way back when. And those days now, it was all those foreign songs that we used to listen to. And people would want to know the lyrics proper. Yeah. And that's what Ayo did, and it became very big because people were buying those. They were coming out maybe twice a year or once a year. I don't know how frequent, but whenever they came out, people would buy them. You get, and that's how Ayo really built. That's why he got the hip hop magazine thing, Hip Hop World. Then it became the Hip Hop World Awards. Then he rebranded and made it Headies. And honestly, he has done very well for himself. At some point in time, he had a top telecoms company supporting him. I think he's doing well because we had awards before he started his own awards.
Yeah.
And those awards are gone. You get. And I've worked on award projects. I know it's hard to keep it going. So shout out to you. You've done well. But I think you're also being hypocritical. And I must tell you, you moved your award to America. 2 years in a row.
You had last year, 2 years before.
You had an explanation for it.
Yeah, you had a US actor. I remember, I think the first one, I think it was Terrence J or something that was the host.
You had Americans hosting the show. You were giving them awards
hosting the show. You give Americans. You carried the whole award.
Nigeria's award though.
You carried it to the US twice.
But
then you want make it make sense. Even before that, Esther, you're going to
remember we had that discussion here.
Yes, now you're going to compare. See, other than even physically being at the Headies, which a lot of artists had complained about, not just even the production, they've complained about the voting and all that, minus all that. Even watching the Headies Awards, at a point, it got very, what are we watching? It wasn't, the productions were not very good at a point, and let's call it spade a spade. That's one. Two, the Headies, what level of prestige? The awards, yes, there was a time when the Wizkids, the Olamides, the Davidos of this world were looking forward to winning Headies, and it was a Nigerian thing, yes. These same people now, even if they either win or do not win the Grammys, they don't just make music for Nigeria anymore. They literally make music for the world. The world is... Nigerian artists are going to perform in places as far as India, in China. People literally have fans all over the world. You can't expect people like that are being recognized, that even if they don't win, do you know the number of Nigerian artists that got nominated for Grammys this year? It means that people are noticing them the more. Meaning that the world is noticing. So they're going to sit down and be waiting for your Headies Awards. Come on now, Uncle. Let's be realistic. And then you never. I think the nail on the coffin was moving the Headies to the US. I think that was just. And you are here. You are complaining, sir. Let's know what we are doing.
For as long as we continue to think that taking such decisions as moving the main Nigerian awards, because it was our main award, to America was a good idea, we will continue to wallow in this level of hypocrisy.
Yeah, is the gaslighting for me? Is the gaslighting for me? Don't do that.
The thing about it is that there's a Yoruba way of saying "Oba ni ko baje." It's not too late to rebrand and restructure the Headies and still bring it back to where it should be. And please don't ever take this award out of Nigeria. You guys had that sponsorship. There were free flights for people. You could whatever.
You said it means you didn't need the sponsorship.
You know the funny thing. God forgive me. I didn't bother to watch any of those things you did in America.
Don't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
Because again, I knew it was always going to come back to bite us in the behind.
It's obvious now.
If I was Ghanaian, I would just be laughing. Nigeria, I know if you do a word for Nigeria, the carrier go up. Are you playing?
Whoever gave you that idea?
Terrible idea, man.
Horrible idea.
Terrible idea.
Now let's move. Before we leave, let's talk about a little bit of sports. So, the Champions League playoffs. The first leg ended yesterday. Yeah? And you would have thought that that's what everybody's talking about. It's the Champions League playoffs. However, a Premier League game. Just one Premier League game was played yesterday. Seems to have overshadowed every single football, or more like every sport thing that happened yesterday. And this was the Merseyside derby. As much as it ended in a bit of violence, a lot of people are saying that it was much needed drama.
Well, I wouldn't use the word violence. There was a little bit of commotion at the end of the game.
That ended in 4 red cards.
That's not violence.
4 red cards.
Yeah, that's not violence still. My opinion, though, and she's entitled to her own. But in my opinion, I don't think it was violence. The Champions League, the major talking point for me was how, 2 players, who were based in England, did a British team in at home. Harry Kane is doing great, and Olise Michael is also doing amazing, and they did it for Bayern.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
The other games, they were just there.
Yeah, nobody saw Club Brugge defeating Atalanta.
Yeah, but Brugge, there's this controversy around some decisions that they got. I hope that UEFA will look into it.
Yeah, Feyenoord defeated AC Milan. But... But the gist of the
Merseyside derby lived up to its top billing. It's a derby. And we always say that when the derby is being played, all the form books are thrown out the window. It's the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. And Liverpool, it ended that Liverpool had won 4 of that, Everton had won 4. Everything was at par. About 100 years of them back and forth with the derbies, and in the 100+ minute, things happened, things changed. A player that had played 100 games non-stop for them, the captain of Everton, became the talking point with his screamer of a goal in the box. It was beautiful to watch. And shockingly, I watched that game as a neutral, and I saw that Everton were having the game of their lives. They actually outplayed Liverpool, in my opinion. But the stuff that champions are made of, You know, they were 1-1 the first half, and everything was going Everton's way. They had more of the ball, but out of nothing, Liverpool created a goal that was fantastic. You know, Mo Salah, that guy, I think with 3 or 4 more goals, is going to move up to top 3 highest goal scorer for Liverpool. He's very close to it now. That guy just popped out of nowhere and scored this goal. And the game changed. Liverpool started dominating. But Everton never stopped. They never gave up until the dying minute when they pulled that goal back. And you need to go and search for that goal.
Yeah, fantastic goal. And that was when all hell broke loose.
Yeah. And I think it was not a great thing that, was it Dakoria, was his name, who had gone to celebrate in front of the traveling fans. And one of the Liverpool players didn't like it at all. And of course, he responded.
Yeah.
And the players came. And it was... And in the old madness, the Liverpool coach was angry. Said, someone was pushed. In fact, they stopped the game. There was VAR for about 3 minutes. To show you how much tension was in the stadium.
It was a lot.
And their coach and the slot also got a card. It's to show you how crazy things got.
Assistant coach, they're both off for this. So now it's official. They are getting a 2-match ban. The players are getting a 1-match ban each. They're saying that this is more because of the things Arne Slot said to the referee. They're also complaining about what. So it's not a usual thing that 4 red cards happen in one game.
At the end of the game, actually.
At the end of the game, there's talk because Michael Oliver seems to have a lot of controversy around him.
He didn't do any wrong in this game.
The FA has come out to say that they actually stand by his decisions.
He did not do anything wrong.
He did not do anything wrong. Oh wow.
This particular game,
that he did everything by the book, and everybody is going to serve their punishments.
With fines, though, they need to fine them too. Arne Slot, it will just actually make him more popular with the Liverpool fans. They're going to love him. He showed a lot of passion, but I think it was misplaced.
Yeah.
And a big shout out to David Moyes, man.
He kept his cool, yeah. He kept his cool. Now, just wanted to put it out there. Finally, before we go, like you had said, the Senate have also officially passed the 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget.
So I saw a document from a friend, and I just want to say a quick shout out to the Nigerian president. There's been clamor for a University of Sports, and I see that it's been approved, but I'm waiting for the official gazette and everything. But I've seen the document. I saw it online. So a university in Afuze in Edo State. It's Nigeria. Nigeria will get there.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, that is all we have to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.